There's this so-called migrant influencer on TikTok reportedly now on the run. NewsNation has confirmed that Lionel Moreno illegally crossed into Eagle Pass, Texas in 2022. It was in an alternative to detention program. His TikTok, or he was entered into that program, his TikTok account has now been suspended, but in the past, we have seen these posts where he encourages others to squat in homes in the U.S. and videos just like this one.
I learned that there is a law that says if a house is not inhabited, we can take it. Here in the United States, terrain deformation also applies, and I think that will be my next business: invade abandoned houses.
The New York Post reports that immigration officials don't know where Moreno is. There's no word if ICE will be looking for him or if they will wait until police arrest him if he happens to commit a crime. Terrell County, Texas Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland is with us now. When I saw this video, I thought, okay, oh boy, we had at the time this case in New York where a woman went to her late mother's apartment. She was killed allegedly by squatters. We don't know if they were migrants, but we have seen a number of squatter cases. And then to see a video like this encouraging people to break into homes was alarming. When you saw it and heard his message, what went through your head?
You know, Marni, I hate to say that that I wasn't surprised, and we're going to continue to see more of this. And look, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened in this country. Meaning, back in the early '80s, we had the Mariel boat lifts coming out of Cuba. Fidel Castro emptied the prisons, put them on boats, and sent them to the United States. We're experiencing something very similar. We still deal with people from the Mariel boat lifts. We're going to continue to deal with these types of people that have been allowed in under this. Under the alternative to detention, it's going to happen for a while. But I wasn't surprised. I hate to say it, I wasn't surprised.
I'm going to ask you about alternative to detention here in a moment and that program, but I'm curious if a video like this, a message like this, and what he's saying emboldens migrants who are crossing the border. Does it make them more aggressive? Have you seen that?
You know, it certainly does. And we've seen all platforms for social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, utilized to not only encourage illegal aliens to cross the border, asylum seekers, but also show them how, show them routes to take, show them weaknesses in our border, and then, of course, encouraging them to act the way they are. It will embolden them. I can say specifically here, we haven't seen a level or an increase in assaults or anything of that nature. But let me give you an example. So last year, one of my former Border Patrol agents was assaulted by an illegal alien. Unfortunately, the assistant U.S. attorney, of course, who works for the same president as the Border Patrol, chose not to prosecute this individual. So we here at the local sheriff's office picked that individual up and we prosecuted him for that assault. Look, that's how our local and state officials can get more involved to help our Border Patrol agents, where the federal government's also failing. But unfortunately, we've got a lot of sheriffs on the border that just aren't willing to get involved.
Right, and not take that risk. I'm wondering, TikTok took his video off. It's been removed from the platform, but what's the responsibility, do you think, of social media companies to play a part in trying to mitigate some of the threat here?
You know, I think that was a great move, and I think they should look at more, you know, profiles such as that and take that same action. Because I can tell you, I can sit and thumb through TikTok and see smugglers in Mexico doing nearly the same thing. Again, those videos I talked about before, where they beat Border Patrol agents. That's how we actually found a smuggling route here in Terrell County. There's a YouTube channel where smugglers actually brag about their successes. We noticed a location, we went out, set up, and then we've made several apprehensions there, and we're monitoring that area. So, you know, help from these companies would certainly make America more safer.
In this specific case with Moreno, who again is on the run, whether or not they're looking for him is yet to be seen. But he has posted these videos. He doesn't want to be in the public spotlight right now, and he was in this alternative to detention program after he illegally crossed the border, we've confirmed, in 2022. What is this program, and how many people are in it?
You know, it was just a workaround by this administration to allow people in the United States. I won't say legally, because the vast majority are here illegally. They won't actually have a credible fear claim. But it's, again, this administration circumventing our laws or using the laws to their advantage to allow people in. Historically, we wouldn't use that specific piece of law for this. But again, it just shows what they're willing to do to get more people in the United States. And, you know, the ones that are going to suffer are American citizens.
Is there a monitoring of this program? Is there any way to keep track of them?
No, ma'am. Once they're here for good. Latest data I heard, 2035 for notice to appears, people who are allowed in to show up for their court case. Many aren't going to show up. And then when you hear people start talking about, a big mass deportation, the only way that will happen is if we give 287G authority, which is delegated authority from the Immigration Nationality Act, for our local and state law enforcement officials when they arrest somebody to detain them and wait for ICE to come up and pick them up, or even your local Border Patrol station. That's what we do here. If we have an illegal, once they serve their time, our local Border Patrol station comes, takes them, and then deports them.
Well, I think the social media component here is an alarming one because of the reach that it does have to, as I said, potentially embolden those coming across. And law enforcement like yourself already have a tough job. And if you've got more people being more aggressive because they're being encouraged to do so, or at least guided to do so, it makes a really bad situation worse. So Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland, as always, appreciate your perspective and context on this. Important as always.
Thank you, Marni. God bless you.
You as well. You as well.